and welcome back to the channel. Hope you had a great week. Today we are back in the world of Gibbi Point and we are building on this 40 by 30 lot, and we are building Scoop's tiny rental, which is interesting because the actual lot description talks about Scoop's gold mine. So I thought I would kind of tie in the name to that, but this is a vacation rental lot that is basically like a tiny home on a trailer. The trailer itself is base game, so that's pretty cool. It's actually a boat trailer, and there's a version of it without a boat on it, so I thought this was great to use to kind of get that structure underneath to make it look like the house could be pulled on wheels. And don't worry, we will not keep the van. The van is not capable of towing this particular house. We do add a pickup truck, though even the game's pickup truck wouldn't be able to tow this heavy thing. But it's just for like detail and fun. And it's just supposed to be a fun little kind of home away from home vacation rental kind of thing. As far as Sims news, let's get into that real quick because I do have a couple things to talk about. So there are 2 new kits coming out on August 27th. So that's next Thursday at the time of recording this video. And they are Mean Girls Capsule and Clueless Capsule kits, which are create a sim asset kind of kits. So they have like clothing and stuff from the actual Mean Girls movie, but also Clueless as well, which is really nice to see. I won't be doing content on those particular kits, but I will be hosting a giveaway on Instagram for that, and that's going on now until Saturday, August 29th. I will put links in the video description below to my Instagram for both the giveaway posts, so that way you guys can enter as well, just for your chance to win the 2 new kits. But yeah, that's all I had to mention right now. I think there is also a base game update coming next week, obviously with the kits, I suppose. But yeah, I'm not sure what they have planned for us. I do know there was a couple things in the works, so maybe we'll see some new things. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Unsure, because you just never really know. But moving into the inside of the little tiny house, you can see we put together a tiny kitchen. We have a little dining table with 3 chairs, and the sofa changes to just 2 chairs in the end. We do have a TV in the front there. There is a bathroom inside, but there's also this outhouse object, which I'm pretty sure is like a toilet. It was one of those login event rewards, so it's strictly base game, but I thought it was perfect to kind of tuck off to the back of the house. But don't worry, this does have a shower and a toilet. And a sink for your Sims to use inside, just in case they don't feel like roughing it. So, you know, just finishing up the interior a bit. I actually furnished the entire thing before I even did flooring. And I did do wallpapers, though this does change a bit. I was thinking about this like paneling wallpaper, but then I really liked the color. I just didn't like the kind of like paneling on the bottom, so we end up going with this wallpaper instead, which is still very nice. I think it ties well with the Adventure Awaits windows and doors. And then we're just using a base game side table here for the bedside tables. And then we're going to use a base game dresser as well, because I didn't want to use the Adventure Awaits dresser because it has like stickers and stuff on it. I just kind of wanted a plain, clean kind of dresser. I was contemplating putting a desk and a computer in here, but then I thought, no, we're just not going to do that because this is supposed to be a vacation rental. So it's like a home away from home, and you're really supposed to be kind of outdoors. Having adventures with your Sims. That's kind of the whole point here. So we do this little like chair thing, and then I do put some shoes there. So it's kind of like a little dressing chair, if you will, so your Sims can sit and put their shoes on, technically, even though they won't, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean, just pretend. We're doing some kitchen clutter, but again, not too much because I wanted a surface free so that your Sims can actually prep meals. So there's the mini fridge over there, and then we do have a full stove, sink. I did put the blender in from Adventure Awaits, and there is a microwave on the opposite counter there. So that's quite nice. I also remembered light switches. I thought it was kind of cool to have light switches in this anyway, because I feel like it's more realistic. I don't know, like even in a big house, it is nice to have them, but I often forget that they exist. But for this, it's also kind of neat because you actually do see those more often in tiny houses, just because the space is so small. Like you're more likely to notice like the light switches. So yeah, just doing the upper balcony area. We do some kind of columns there to kind of support the floating roof. And then I just put some venting there around the one side, kind of tapping into the little roof over here on the tiny, tiny little porch. It's just a one tile thing, and it's not really classified as a porch. But if you do want to grab this build, it is available on the Sims 4 gallery. Here is that gallery listing. So it's a 40 by 30 lot. It's actually a blank lot by default in Gibbi Point. So this is perfect because I was like, what am I going to do with this lot? For a while, I've wanted to build here and I just didn't know what to do with it. So I thought this was perfect. But it's a vacation rental. If you did want to like own it and actually live here permanently and kind of have like a fun little story with it, it's only 27,934 simoleons, and again, it's just one bed and one bath. And I only used 5 packs and kits in combination total, so it's also a very limited pack build. But again, it's not like a huge house where you could fit a lot of that stuff in there, if that makes sense. There's not really room for a lot of objects and things. So just trying to figure out the bathroom situation. I couldn't decide on the tile, and I think I ended up going with this dark floor instead, and we do change out the tile for this base game tile instead. It's like a gray, which I thought tied well with the window frames as well. I don't know, just kind of keeping some darker elements to the actual little tiny house. I do kind of feel like I could have shrunk it a little bit in some areas. It is a little large, but that's okay. I like having a little bit of space because it does make it easier to kind of move around and kind of get close if you're taking screenshots for your stories or whatever without things getting in the way. Just trying to figure out curtains now. And I end up using these base game gray curtains. So I don't put them on every single window. I did try to put them down here, but it didn't work really that well on the corners. So using some alt placement and move objects, I use the Adventure Awaits curtains and then just put the curtain bar kind of like clipping each little piece there because there really was no other way to do it on the angled bits there, and to kind of like tie in and kind of make it match up with the angled bits. So that is what it is. It will clip, but it's not really that noticeable. It does flicker a little bit, but again, not really that noticeable. I don't know. At least I didn't notice it too much. I mean, it is there, but it's one of those things that it was easily ignorable, if that makes sense. Doing the exterior wallpaper, I ended up going with this kind of like nice pine wood color. It's actually quite nice. And then we're building 2 little like ponds. There's going to be one off the front here, and then we're going to do one off the side here, which kind of like loops around towards the back of the lot. And I'm just doing some smoothing, and then we're filling it with water, which actually looks so easy to do. I am by no means a terrain expert, but yeah, that just seemed to go together rather quickly, I'd say. Doing some exterior lighting now just to kind of brighten it up because it is very dark in this part of the world of Gibbi Point. But yeah, and then this is where I found the pickup truck, which I saw, oh, that's cool. And we'll keep the van too, because like I imagine like you brought your Sims family here. I did not put anything like camping tents because I didn't want it to require another like pack or anything, but you could easily put some tents in the yard area and have more Sims sleep here for like a full-on getaway. Like you could have some Sims living in the little like tiny house trailer thing, and then you could also have like camping tents and sleeping bags and sleep out under the stars if you wanted to. Like there is space to do that. So yeah, just putting some trees around to kind of make it feel very kind of enclosed and part of nature, though there is some water off to the one side of the lot, which is part of the world, but still nice, I guess, to have that there. And it's very private. There's like nothing really around, but though if you flip around, there is part of the town, but it's far enough away that you do feel very secluded on this lot. So that's, I guess, a plus, and it does make it feel a bit more like an actual camping kind of thing. Just trying to figure out what else to put in the bedrooms and stuff, but now we're just moving to the exterior and doing some landscaping details. I found some like old tires. I found this like old like fishing dock, some trees, the grasses that are in the world. And just kind of making it look all overgrown, but also just very nice in general. And it ties in very well with the world's landscaping. I also put archery there at the side. And we do build like a little fire pit cooking grill thing with a picnic table over there. Though I don't know if that's on or off camera. I believe it's off camera that I do that when I kind of finish up the landscaping. I didn't record every bit of the landscaping. But I did do some of it just to kind of show you the process and what I was thinking of. This fence is a debug fence from Adventure Awaits, and I thought it was so nice to use. Quite perfect, actually. Though I did realize it's floating, and that's because my terrain was actually not flat at the beginning of the lot. So I was like, oopsie, better fix that. Yeah, not that it would have caused any issues. It was just making the fence float. So I didn't want the fence to float. We do put a mailbox here, even though it's not like a permanent home. It's just important just in case you did want to own the lot as well. You have that. The trash bin's out the back, so it's kind of like hidden from view. We put a couple logs in, a couple of ducks and swans and things of that nature. And then I do a lot of fireflies and mosquitoes around to make it feel even more like you're in the wilderness. And there is a fishing signpost, though we do change it out for a debug one because it's actually like brown instead of like white. So like the base game one was white. Doing some lights on the back of the house now. And then I go off camera to kind of finish up the rest of the detailing. So this is the finished Scoops Tiny Rental. Again, you can find it on the Sims 4 gallery. My EID is just TheSimified. So it's out there for your Sims to have a nice little getaway. The kayak is also not functional. It's in the back of the pickup truck, if you notice there. I kind of used some move objects and alt placement to kind of like lay it in the back of the pickup truck. But yeah, it's definitely not functional for that. This is the floor plan, and you can see the indoor plumbing just in case you don't want to use the little outhouse there. There is also a swing set off the back of the house, which I don't know is really captured in the screenshots, but there is something for kids to do as well. And there's a lot of different butterflies that your Sims can kind of collect and everything too. This is the indoor bathroom, though it's really hard to capture, so because of the shape of it. So I just at least did the vanity anyway. This is upstairs, and then we move out to the only bedroom's little like balcony area, which just has 2 seating chairs, though you could actually put a telescope here. I should have did that because that would have been base game, and that would have been nice to have, I suppose. And then we zoom around to the rest of the lot and kind of show off some of the details and like the little like picnic area and the archery area as well. But that is all I had for this speed build. I do hope you enjoyed. Make sure to give a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And I do thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon with another build.